What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Hope everyone had a great weekend as we start every show, making sure everybody had a great weekend. If you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Make sure you guys say what's up. Let us know you're here. Be creeping in the background. I mean, you can. I don't care. But it'd be cool if you said what's up. Let me read the clarity statement. We don't have Caesar here to read the awesome clarity statement. I'm going to try my best to try to fit these shoes, okay?
Big shoes to fill, bro.
Big shoes to fill. All right, here I go. This is scary. The Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z. Just get there, and thank you for being a part of our family. And we mean that. And that just means anybody's welcome here. I don't care where you're at, where you're from, what you're doing. Doesn't matter. So Caesar couldn't make it tonight. He is on his way back from Orlando. His daughter won second place at the basketball competition in Orlando, which is really cool. So it was worth the miss, right? Family first. Even though it's 15 minutes before we had to jump on, but whatever.
Stop it.
I am. Let's see. We have Travis D. I'm here creeping in the background. What up, creep? It's okay. I usually do that too. We got Lindsay. What's up, Lindsay? Good to see you. Hope you had a great weekend as well. We got Rachel. What's up, Rachel? Good to see you. We got Connie. Always good to see you. Rachel, hope you had an awesome vacay up there in Tennessee, hugging them trees and stuff. It looked like you guys had a blast. We got Carl. What's up, Carl? Good to see you. And I'm glad you're home, Rachel, safe and sound. Yes, I was in West Palm Beach this weekend visiting the family, visiting my dad. It's been long overdue. It's been a while since I actually went down there. And we went to the beach. As you can see, I got red as hell.
You're always red.
No, I just got it.
Okay.
I'm always red, but I'm a little extra red. Is that you know? I look a little Christmassy right now, right?
Yeah, you do.
A little Christmassy, you know?
Look like Buddy Elf, man.
Yeah, it's a little Christmas in July, right? But it was way overdue. We went to the beach. We've seen that turquoise water, man. The east coast of Florida and the water is just to die for. You know, it's just so beautiful. And I forget how much we were lucky to be in a place where we can go over East Coast and West Coast in one day. You know, if we choose to, right? But it was beautiful. It was fun. Much overdue. So, what's up with you, Nate? How was your weekend?
It was great, man. We decided not to go to the East Coast and surf on Saturday. So we had some loose ends to tie up, get some stuff out of the old house and bring it to the dump. My brother showed up to help us. And then kids came back after a week being gone. Blessing, you know, we missed them so much. And now the house feels whole, you know. It was just Danielle and I for a week. And the house feels whole now with the kids here, and had a few friends over today. You know, I swam in the pool for the first time
Awesome.
since I've been here. It's just been my dad came over this morning and hung out for a couple hours, helped me put together a patio set. Here there they are.
Yeah.
They're the kids, yay. And no, it's all blessings, man. It's funny though. The alcoholism, the addiction, like that mind, that ism, you know, because no matter how, and I'm aware, I'm cognizant of what a great gift and blessing this is, but it's like, I have to fill this house now. I have to have all the things, and I said I can't get all the things, and it's funny, man, how this deal works. But no, we're just grateful, man. It's such a nice spot. It's just like a lot of things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, oh yeah. We got a good old Matt, man. Last minute Matt. That's what we're gonna call him because he is the man. He's gonna come in like quick.
That's it.
All right. Hey,
Uh,
thanks.
yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. What's up, fellas?
What's going on,
Chilling.
Matt?
Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
Thanks for coming on.
Well, happy
So,
Sunday, y'all.
how was your weekend, buddy?
It was good, man. Really good. Got to show up for friends all weekend, man, and be dependable. It was kind of cool, man. So yeah, it was really good in that. Yeah, good weekend.
Awesome. So tonight, I lately. Hold on, wait before I bust out the topic. Let me say there's a couple people that jumped in at the last minute. Let me say what's up to some friends. We got Lynn. What's up, Lynn? Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. We got Erica. What's up? Whoop, whoop. We got Mike. Good to see you. Happy Sunday to you as well. We got Allie in YouTube land. Good to see you. We got Kevin. What's up? And yeah, and we got Amber. Hey, what's up, Amber? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here tonight. And if you guys could hit that share button, I'm sure somebody's got to hear this because I'll tell you right now, this topic has been running around. It's been going around a lot lately, and I think it's a lot of things that we just don't want to address. We in the comfort zone, and we don't want to. We feel the pain a little bit, we feel like we know we have to do stuff and we got to start working towards a certain area of our lives, but we hold back because, we don't know what that looks like. There's a lot of fear based, a lot of things going on. But so tonight's topic is going to be avoidance. And that's a goodie right there. So me and Nate were in the beginning. We're like, what's it going to be? And we're like, oh, we call it dodgeball, and like if you we're like you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, and we're just going all around. We finally came up with this one, avoidance arena. It's like we're dodging reality, we're dodging life, we're trying to, we want the easier, softer way sometimes, and sometimes going through the hardships and going through that pain and going through those uncomfortable areas of our lives will actually give us the best blessings and actually give us the most growth. But there's something that just holds us back from doing it, something that we don't want to address, something that we have to look at. But it's like, man, a part of me wants to do it and a part of me doesn't. It's just easier to just keep going on with the daily tasks and keep going forward. And man, and it's if we could just get through those areas where we're trying to avoid and confront them. I know that in my life, I hate confrontation. I can't stand confrontation. It doesn't matter if it's with myself, with the inner child, with people in general, the public, a boss, an employee, a coworker. It doesn't matter what it is. I hate I hate conflict. So I'd rather avoid those areas so I don't have it because I'm making this stuff up in my mind about this situation that's going to be, I'm making it bigger than what it is. And it really is not that big of a deal. We make it more than what it is. So Nate, you want to kick this one off?
Sure. You
Thanks,
caught
buddy.
me mid yawn, bro.
Huh?
You caught me mid yawn.
Yeah, that's right. Get Diet Coke real quick. It makes it better.
Yeah. Yeah, great topic. What's funny is I was talking to Danielle the other day about this. And I'm in Justin, we touched on it too. I'm at this point, right, where I have a landscape business and work full time with the Hope Shot. I have all my responsibilities in recovery, and it's a lot. It's a lot, especially when the trucks start breaking down, the equipment start breaking down, the customers are calling you, where are you at, yeah, like 2 months before we were set to move, my truck has been in the shop 6 times. It's like every week I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is. How much this time, And anyway, that was the catalyst, to what this conversation. And I was talking to Danielle about, there are some things that I could do, right, to help me get to that, next level. And I talk about this with humility because I understand exactly where I'm at and what a blessing it is to be, where I'm at right now, right here. I know all my needs are met. I know that, this power, this God that I believe in is always going to provide, and it's all a process. And I get all that. I get it. I promise you, I get it. But faith without works is dead, right? I have to put some action in, if I want to continue to grow. Now I've been doing this on a spiritual level. I've really been on point as far as my recovery goes. Making sure I stay on top of that, making sure I'm seeking and praying, meditating, working with my guys, hitting meetings, fellowshipping. The whole triangle. I'm in it. In the middle of the, not on. I got both feet in middle of the boat, right? So, but like professionally, and there are some things I'll say personally too, non-recovery basis, because some things popped up this week that I had to take a look at personally as well. And but first, professionally, I'm like right on the cusp of having like certain certifications that I could acquire that could, allow me to do different types, of work. There's an exemption process that I have to go through so I could get my peer certification through the state of Florida. So Justin and I could, tap into another, stream of funding. And there are some things that it's just very simple. There's insurance that I've been meaning to get, health insurance. There's these things, right? And even with my business, and there are some things that I could do on that end too, to either, form an exit strategy, to where, I wouldn't have that stress, or to help it become more sustainable. But, and these things, man, there's like these tasks that have to be done in order to get to the other side of it. And one of my favorite quotes, this is my quote. I said, "The greatest blessings wait patiently on the other side of that which I resist." Right. And I understand that, intellectually. But when it comes to putting in the footwork, there's something that just prevents me, makes me procrastinate. I get paralyzed. So I won't do anything. Right. And I have a theory. And the theory is this. There is something in my psyche, and I think it's deep in my subconscious, because when I'm awake, I don't really wrestle with this, or I'm not awake to it, one of the two, right? But there is something that just, makes me think that, I'm still not worthy. I say it all the time. I don't have a fear of failure. I'm familiar with that. I have a great frame of reference when it comes to that type of stuff. What I do have is a fear of success, right? I'm not used to it. So I do believe that there is some like dark recess of my mind, my spirit, wherever it might be, that, still thinks that, I can't do this, or that I'm not worthy, or that I'm incapable, or that it's too much, or the shoe's about to drop, I think it's closely related to some of these nightmares I have, because the core of my recurring nightmares is that I've done something has happened. I know about it, and I'm going back to prison forever. Right. That is like the central theme. So I think just there's some block, right? And what could I do? I could go back and get some trauma therapy. Justin got me this information for this gentleman, and I didn't call him this week. You know what I mean? And, I signed up for 100 hours of CEUs. I paid for it for a year. I can go on the computer and start taking those. I haven't done that. I did set the appointment to go work on this exemption. So that's progress. But if I really took the time, I could do all these things. And, yeah, so like how do I get to the core of that? You know what I mean? And so for me, the when it comes to avoidance, I'm trying to in Justin so dodgeball. We're dodging reality, right? Um, I think for me, it's first of all, accepting that I am capable of achieving, and growing, and that I am worthy of whatever my creator has in store for me. But in the same breath, like I have to get busy. You know what I mean? And maybe that busy isn't like what it sounds like. I need to get quiet. I need to pray. I need to meditate. I need to get right with this power and figure out like what is blocking me, man. What is this block? And once I have an idea of what it is, but what am I willing to do about it? I talked to my sponsor this last Friday about it, and he said something pretty ground. It was so simple. He's like, make a list of one. Make one item list, and just do that item on a daily basis, right? And I can get one step closer each day. Because my brain, I look at the 100 steps, and they become overwhelming, and so I don't begin, and then it builds up, and then it reminds me, it what it does is it validates the illogical fear, the irrational fear that I'm not worthy, because then I don't begin, and I'm like, see, told you, you can't, you didn't even start. And so for anybody that thinks that we're like these on some spiritual hilltop, and we're sick just like y'all, man. This is 6 years sober. I'm still messy. I still avoid some facing some dark stuff. On the personal side. I was going through this situation with my girlfriend, and what I realized is like, man, I have some work to do still. Like I noticed that I put these unrealistic, unfair expectations on my partner, on others as well, but especially in a relationship, and they don't even know what they are. They don't have no idea of these expectations that I set upon them. And then when it doesn't go out work out, I have to again face this reality. um I think I've gotten a lot better on not avoiding, my defects, or, when things get messy and stuff like that. But yeah, the key for me today is like trying to get unblocked, and because what is the reality? It says, I love it what it says. Um, it says in stuff that in a book that I read, the great reality deep down within us. In the last analysis, it is only there that he may be found. It was so with us, and it seems for me like that is when I discover what I need to. And unfortunately, I have to get uncomfortable enough still. I'm trying to get to that point where pain, it doesn't have to be a motivator, or I have to be uncomfortable to start to do something. I feel like spiritual nirvana is when you can get the lesson without the pain. You can take the cues, you can do the work, and you don't have to get to a point where it's in that last analysis. You're like, oh shit, fuck, I gotta do this, man, or I'm gonna feel like shit. So yeah, man, learning process. I have to also afford myself some grace, man. I can get like a little self-righteous, thinking that I have to have the whole world figured out in 6 years. I burnt my life down. I wreaked havoc on my mind, body, and spirit for 20 plus years. I am still unraveling that shit. My mind is still untwisting. I'm still uncovering. And yeah, I just have to give myself a little grace, man. But nevertheless, I have to face this stuff. It is the only way that I will continue to grow. If I continue to avoid these little things, man, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. So yeah, I have to pray for the willingness to stop avoiding not just some things, but all things, and walk through that stuff, because I know my greatest blessings wait patiently on the other side of that which I resist. So, yeah, I'm sure that's enough for me, bro. That's enough.
It's funny. I hate it when people say, "Oh, your greatest blessings are on the other side of it," and I'm like, man, shut it down.
Shut up.
Shut it down. Nobody want to hear that. I'm in pain right now. Okay, I don't want to hear that crap. Thanks, Nate. Yeah, man, right on point. Tiffany actually just commented on one of your. She says the blessings patiently wait on the other side of which I resist. Nature Thomas. I'm going to quote that and put it in the always center. Let's see. We have Rachel says, "Oh, I used to be an avoidance arena all-star gladiator edition." We all went pro. Let's see. We have Brett. Good to see you. I love being 100% of the time. Oh, all right. Lindsay says there's a safety in avoidance, but man, isn't it freeing on the other side? I have enough tangible evidence from being vigilant, which turns to stronger faith. We got Ito. What up, Ito?
What up, Ito?
Let's see. We got Dan that says, "Hey, beautiful Hope Shot fam. What's up?" We got Kelly. Good to see you, Kelly. Let's see. And then Chris says, "Our faith can move mountains, but God expects us to bring the shovel." Mm-hmm.
Amen.
That's right. We got Amber says, "Oh, great topic. I've been dodging the board of nursing for 10 years to do the footwork to get my nursing license back. Fear of success and also fear of being told no. However, how free do I want to be?" That's right. That's the question we have to ask ourselves. What are we willing to do? How much are we willing to believe in this power and believe in this journey? Everything's going to work out exactly as it's supposed to. Even if we get the no's, let's see. We have Ito says, "God won't fix what we won't face." Oof. Truth bomb right there. We got Kay says, "The fear of not being enough and feeling like I don't belong is something I struggle with." Great topic. It's definitely easier to avoid. Much easier. James Frank says, "Yes, man, everything takes time. I didn't arrive where I'm at. And just to be grateful for the blessings I've got. There's always more to come. Still got to do the work." We got Wayne says, "Been thinking all week about the fact that you need the bad to get to the good." That's right. Kelly says, "We're driving home from Orlando. I wanted to check in." Well, thanks for checking in and drive safe. I actually put up a quote real quick, and I want to read it. It says, by avoiding your problems, you are only creating more of them. And then there's a statement that follows it, which says, "Avoidance might offer temporary relief, but it often leads to increased anxiety, missed opportunities for growth. Facing challenges head on though difficult, builds resilience and fosters personal development." And I was thinking, I was like, man, that is right there is our inability to accept personal responsibility. We're actually creating our own problems. That reminds me of that. And that's like exactly what I tell everybody, because it's like when I was in my addiction, I can never face the music, right? I never could take responsibility for my own what I've done to my life. It was everybody else. It was everybody's fault. That's avoidance of taking responsibility. And I still do that today. And it's like when we get here, it's like we take that first initial acceptance of what it is, taking responsibility, and I stop creating my own problems there. But that doesn't end there. We have to actually apply that things in multiple areas of my life, and that includes through conflict. That includes through self-limiting beliefs, because I still don't feel like I deserve anything that I'm doing. Now I'm getting better at it. I have all these yeses that have happened that have make me understand that like everything always works out. And there's a lot of times I have missed opportunities throughout my life, throughout even beginning of recovery. I had a lot of missed opportunities because I would psych myself. I would tell myself that I'm not worth it, that I don't deserve anything, that I don't belong anywhere, just like my sister was talking about. And it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? We belong anywhere that we want to be if we are willing to go through the uncomfortability of talking, building relationships, getting into the places that we feel like we don't belong. We got to push through those self-limiting beliefs and go through them. And every time I've done that, like I tell you, when I first got in recovery, I put myself into B&I. Okay. You're talking about this dude that, like, you know, like I had such a bad social anxiety. I was so skittish. I literally was like the dog with his tail between his legs, walking through everybody. I kept pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself. And I still felt like I was an outcast and an outsider. And I still didn't feel like I belonged because of all the shit. But once I looked at, like, why do I feel that way? You know, why do I keep feeling like a dog with his tail between his legs, skittish and like scared of the world? Even though I'm putting myself in these situations where I'm putting myself out there, I'm still like, I'm not avoiding social gatherings and stuff like that. And I'm going into these meetings and business owners and stuff like that, but I still feel like that skittish dog. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? Even though I've had multiple times, I've been in this thing almost a year. And you're telling me because I've had times like I've done it enough, I should be comfortable now. It's not the case, you know? So what is it? You know, I gotta dig a little deeper. You know, it's like, what is in me that's making me feel this way, even though I've put myself out there enough times and I'm still feeling the exact same way. And still today, you know, I don't feel like it all the time, but there's sometimes, man, it still brings it back up. But it was a lot stronger when I first got in recovery. And now that I've done some work and I've done some things and I've dug a little deeper, those things have come up to the surface. It's like, I have to work on the inside. It's an inside job. It has nothing to do with the outside. It has nothing to do about going out there in public and showing up and blah, blah, blah. It's about my insecurities. And what are they, you know? So I had to find out what it is. I still have that scared little boy inside of me, man. And I had to deal with that guy, you know, and that child, you know, that's like, and I had to figure out what is it going to take for Justin to be okay with being okay, you know, and then, like I said, and I talk about it a lot, but it took me until a year ago, a year and change now, a year and a half, you know, that I finally surrendered to, you know, working a little bit deeper into why do I feel this way? Like I don't belong, like I don't deserve this life. Like my wife's going to leave me at any given moment, you know? I had to figure it out, you know, and I avoided it for 5 years of my recovery of, you know, of doing the extra steps, you know, there's some extra steps that take in order for things to get cleared out. We just have to do those extra steps. It's not about the job. It's not about the house. It's not about the girlfriend, the wife, the kids. It doesn't matter if you eat good or you go to the gym. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're counting calories or not. It doesn't matter if you're, it doesn't really matter, you know, how many meetings you hit every week. It doesn't matter, but it matters about doing those extra steps of work that we avoid. You know, it's about digging into spirituality. It's about digging in deep into yourself and figuring out, how you work, how you operate, what's making you stop yourself from going into the extra dive. And I'll tell you right now, life is too short. We have an end date and we don't know what that looks like. So why the hell aren't we freaking running into this thing like the house is on fire? You know what I mean? That's what we should be doing, you know, running into this thing like the house is on damn fire, you know, and saving ourselves, you know, and you know, I've been really thinking about that lately. It's like, man, we do have an end date and we don't know what that looks like. And we're missing all kinds of opportunities going out into this world because we're too scared. We're too scared to face some things. We're too afraid to let people know, hey, I don't like the way I'm feeling in this situation. I don't like how I'm being treated. I don't like how you talk to me or anything like that, you know, or like I want to be heard. And then sometimes when we are not heard and we're avoiding the conflict of talking to people and saying, hey, this is how I feel, you know, we blow up at them, you know? And I've seen it multiple times and I'm one of them, you know, like I don't like the way I feel. And instead of saying something, I blow up, you know, because it just digs at you and digs at you. But, you know, and that's a big part, man. It's like, we only get we get this one shot every day. Okay. Every day. Tomorrow's a new day. We could wake up and we could do something different. Right. But we shouldn't be sitting here afraid at life, and especially, when it's just it's so precious, man. And like we should really fucking get at it like the house is on fire, man. And we got to save ourselves, and we got to freaking just get at it, and it's something I need to tell myself as well. The house is on damn fire, and I need to start getting into this thing fast, getting in it and getting find out what's stopping me from really reaching my full potential. Because we all have some of that, we all have potential. We just need to tap into it. And how do we tap into it, man? It's by going through the things that we avoid, going through them, figuring out what it is. Sometimes we are in pain and we don't even know what it looks like, but we got to figure out, like, okay, well, maybe let me try this over here. Oh, that's not helping, but let me try a little bit of this. Let me try a little bit of that. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need that. Never stop changing things up to find out what that is. What is it, So anyways, that's what I got, man. Running out of building, man. And the shit's on fire. Gotta go. It's 3-alarm fire. That's how I think of it. That's what goes through my brain. Let me read a few comments, man. We're gonna hear from Matt real quick on this topic. Let's see. We have Diantha, and Diantha is getting her kids back on Wednesday, man. Shout out to you. I'm so filled with gratitude right now. I have went through so much clean and trying to get my kids back home. When I finally surrendered to the program and accepted there's something bigger than me, I could finally grow. That's it, man. Here you are at the doorstep of something, just everything you worked hard for, not avoiding it, going through the pain, and not giving up, man, because we give up on ourselves too fast, too soon, too fast, when we're right there at the doorstep, right there at the doorstep. We're about to knock, and we just stop and just hold ourselves back, man, and go back the other way. And we don't deserve that these days. We got Chris says, find God, clean house, help others. All those are important without conflict. All those are impossible without conflict. I'm sorry. And we got Connie says, I've avoided a toxic relationship for some time, but finally put up my boundaries and walked away. It's a taste of freedom now. That's right, man. It's something we have to do, man. We figure out what it is, man. Only us can stick up for ourselves. We're the only ones that are going to stick up for us. So, and wonder why we're in pain, and we got to start doing it, man. Start getting at it. Chris says, my anxiety is a lying bitch. Great topic, guys. Needed this today. Thanks. You're welcome. It is a lying bitch. I've noticed when I avoid things, I keep myself in a void. Then I do the opposite. I may not get the results I wanted, yet I get results that are attached to the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's okay. Keep it pushing. That's right. I love all that. All that in the void, man. Kay says, get out of your comfort zone. That's right. Rachel, you're right back to quoting him. You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow, because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. And that's true. Eminem is my favorite guy. I quote a lot of his stuff, man. Life is short. Make the dash count. My birthday, then the dash begins until my end date. The dash is symbolic to how we live. Let's see. We have Carl says, when I was early in my recovery, I had one of my coaches tell me, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. That's it, man. I like the comfort zone, though. Diantha says, I didn't quit before the miracle happened. That's right. And we got Debbie. Hey, good to see you, Debbie. Getting the mental help is necessary. Why is it so difficult to get help? Because it's uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable to get help. To admit the acceptance of admitting you have a problem. First, you have to see there's a problem, and then it's accepting and saying you have a problem and showing your weak side. It's vulnerability. Nobody wants to show their vulnerability. A lot of people do this, they can't see the problem at hand. And most times it's accepting responsibility for why my life is unmanageable, and it's saying, hey, I might have a mental problem. And it's taboo, I guess you could say, in society, Let's see. James says, weak knees, weak arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already. Mom spaghetti. Let's see. Kevin, great stuff, guys. Camp Clean going on next weekend. Alaska. Oh, that's cool, man. I would totally dig that, but I can't. I'm in Florida. It's far. Have fun. All right, man. Matt, what you got on this topic, buddy? You gotta mute yourself.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Avoidance arena, man. You guys already hit on a lot of good stuff, but what I keep thinking about is, for me, it's like resting on my laurels, and how I've just gotten so comfortable. I had burned my life to the ground, and now that I'm not facing 35 years in prison, and I'm not homeless, and things have gotten pretty good, that when these things come up and I'm being pulled to grow, that's where the avoidance comes from. I'm comfortable, you know what I mean? And good has become the enemy of great sometimes, as they say that, I'm comfortable and things are good, and I have lately, I've been being pulled to grow in certain areas, and I just keep avoiding it too. It's like every morning, I was just talking to somebody about this today, about changing up certain parts of my routine that I do every day, and I just keep avoiding it, and the crazy thing is I know that there's so much growth to be had, on the other side of it. But I just I don't know, I keep avoiding that, and that's what really came to mind, first. But the thing that the one big hindrance that I can think back to was really in 12-step recovery. The amends is vital, right? And I remember, when I was making my amends, I got comfortable. I made several amends, and I began to experience, a lot of the amazing benefits of recovery. And then I just started, I started trying to turn around and help other people, and really live and practicing these principles every day. And I had like put some of my amends on the back burner, and I think it was Nate that was talking about it. It's like, I have to wait. I don't know why I have to wait for the pain to show up. And that was what happened with me, is I had some of these amends that I hadn't really finished, and I was focused on just trying to live right, and make some of these living amends, as they say, and like just live right and practice principles, and stay sober, and I put a lot of that stuff. I was avoiding those amends. I really was. And there was, you guys both hit on it. It's fear, and there was fear, and that, I didn't want to make some of those amends, so I was comfortable just leaving them on the back burner, and I avoided them for over a year. And I remember when I hit this point of just pain and like spiritual, like I was just beginning to feel restless, irritable, and discontent, like the book says, right? And I was beginning to feel that way, and couldn't really figure out what it was. I'm like, I'm doing all the things we say to do in recovery. I'm going to all these meetings, and I'm helping people, and I'm doing all these things, and here I am. I'm feeling like restless and irritable and discontent, and then, the light bulb went off one night while I was at a meeting. I was like, man, I've got these amends that like I've just put off and I've been avoiding. And then lo and behold, I did. I went, I made a couple of really big amends that I had been putting off. And man, the blessing was on the other side, right? Like we keep talking about, like I received so much relief from this one major one that I had been putting off. And and the crazy thing is, if I'm being honest with you, I've done the same thing again. I made several amends, and I have a few left at the bottom of my list that I don't really feel are that crucial. And there's definitely a couple financial amends, and I just keep avoiding these things, and I don't even know. I don't know why. Like Nate hit on, it's at a deep level. I really need to dig and figure out what the fears are, that cause me to continue to avoid this stuff. Come on. And that's where it's at for me is every time there is some, I feel this avoidance, there's some type of fear underlying it. And, I may not know what it is but it takes some work for me to dig down and really begin to understand what these fears are that drive me to want to avoid stuff. Because if I don't, if I don't have any fear, then I'm just facing life as it comes, you know what I mean? One moment, one step, and one day at a time. But, when these things, when I feel this like resistance towards something, a lot of times I don't even understand what it is. I don't know what fear it is and where it's coming from, but I do know today that it's some type of fear, some type of self-centered fear. And that if I do a little bit of work, then, I'll probably figure out what that is. But I really need to lean into, this thing. And like you were just saying, Justin, that just run at this thing, you know what I mean? 100 miles an hour. Like if I really just begin to tackle this thing and, and lean into what's made me act this way and react this way for so long, then I'll begin to, some of those fears will begin to, manifest, and I'll be able to deal with them. And, so I don't know, a lot of, I still struggle. And so I wanted to say this too. The funny thing is, being around recovery for a little while now, I understand that, like Nate said, the but, right? Like I understand all this stuff on an intellectual level. I understand that, if I do this, if I face these things, I understand that on the other side of it, there's, there's freedom, and that there's a blessing on the other side of whatever it is that I'm resisting. And I'm good about, the people I work with, and, my wife, even like my wife, I'm really good at showing her like, hey, if you stop resisting this or avoiding this, that like, you know what I mean? Like I'm good at showing that to other people. And it's crazy because then when it shows up in me, I continue to avoid it, and that's what, it shows me that on an intellectual level, I understand it, but, that fear, that's how powerful the fear is for me, is that, I don't know, that, I continue to avoid. And like I said, when I started out, it's funny because I've been being pulled to grow in a certain area of my life, for a little while now. And I don't know, there's a resistance to it in the mornings. And it's just because I'm doing the same things that I've done since I got sober, and it's kept me sober, and things have, things are going good. Right. So, I don't know if there's a fear there of disrupting that, you know what I mean? Because it's what's been working. Or if it's a fear of success, I don't know exactly what the fear is, but I've been being pulled to grow in a certain area lately. And I keep, there's like a resistance to it. And that's what it is. I'm comfortable, and good right now. Things are good. Good is the enemy of great. God's got something great on the other side of this for me. And I know that. I really do. I truly believe that, and I understand that. And I don't know, man. I guess I lived a life for so long, so many years of just, I don't know, what's adapting and just like, I don't know, just being okay. You know what I mean? Like living just a deplorable life that like, now that it's good, I'm like, I'm good enough. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable enough. I'm happy. I've got a family that depends on me. I'm a dependable friend, and, father, son. And like, these are all things that I always wanted. So like, I'm okay where I'm at right now. But I know that, that God has something bigger in store for me. And yeah, I don't know. I'll get there. I am getting there. I continue to face things a little bit at a time, but I don't know exactly what those fears are, and I don't know. So yeah, a lot of really good stuff that you guys hit on though, but it's the but, man. I understand this stuff at a visceral level, but every day, you know what I mean? I still, the avoidance, the resistance still pops up, and I continue to avoid what I know will help. I think I don't know, it's normal for us, I guess. A lot of the guys I work with struggle with the same things. It's normal, but yeah, my book tells me that we're on a different basis today, trusting and relying upon God. And I need to try and put that foot forward every day, and and just grow a little bit. So thank you guys for having me on. Sorry for being a few minutes late, but yeah, man, really good topic. So
No, thanks for coming on last minute. It was last minute in a clutch.
Yeah, appreciate you. Justin, can I add something real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, I was thinking about this when you were sharing, Justin, and then Matt said something, and I forgot about it. I had a chance to say something, and then Matt said something. Now I remember, so I want to tell you. All right, so this is what I find like a great irony in I don't know if it's just in recovery in life, whatever. But imagine, I know how everybody got loaded on this screen, right? And I know for me personally, I was like hopelessly and desperately obsessed with alcohol and substances for 20 plus years. It brought me to the depths of hell, and to the gates of death, sheer insanity. I didn't really have much, but it took my soul, took my spirit. I was in the most darkest, dankest, saddest place ever in my entire life, like controlled, haunted, terrified by this obsession just for one more, just to feel something, right? And this power, whatever it might be, I seen somebody in the comments, it has nothing to do with religion, I promise you. But whatever this power is, right? And here's a testament to this power. It removed that obsession from me, right? Imagine that. Imagine the miracle in that act alone, to take something that controlled my life, every decision, every action, where I went, how I thought, who I surrounded myself with, who I hurt, who I took from, every single facet of my life it controlled, and it's completely removed, just by surrendering and turning towards this power. That's it. I didn't believe in it. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I had no concept of what this thing was. I just knew that there was something, right? And I wasn't it. But if that, and then I get some sobriety behind me, I just get some years into this deal, and I forget the power of that, that I just have to be that, like, have that same, like, desperation, that same blind faith, that, man, whatever it is I'm avoiding, whatever it is I'm afraid to walk through, this thing can take care of that if I allow it to, and if I trust it, if I believe in it, right? And yeah, I don't know why that happens. It's just like the Justin and we were talking about this, like the financial stuff, like, when I get in these financial pickles, right? And it's been proven to me time and time and time again that it always works out. Yet when you're immersed in them, it sure as fuck doesn't feel like it's going to work out. I feel the same fear, the same insecurities, and the same, like helpless feeling, it's, and I believe that's, I believe that's like, alcoholism and addiction at its best, that just shows that the least of our problems are drugs and alcohol. We have this disease of the mind and the spirit, man. And I really need to get back to relying on this power like I did before I got sober, because the house was on fire then. The house isn't on fire now. And I tell all my guys that I read with, man, all my guys that I sponsor, I always tell them, be vigilant when things are good. When things are bad, it's obvious. We're going to call people. Hopefully you will. I know I do. Like, I'll call people. I'll be writing more. I'll be praying more. I need to have that same vigilance when everything is good. Because if I don't, man, what am I doing? I need to stay close to this deal, man, and just have that same blind faith that I did when, I came in here completely broken and pathetic and desperate for anything different. It's funny, man, that we don't even have to have an understanding of this power. We just have to have an inclination, a slight inclination that this thing is real. And, this power doesn't make too hard a term for those who honestly seek them, So am I honestly seeking this power, and am I honestly seeking for this power to address these things that I'm afraid to face? I need to be specific, man. I need to really ask to uncover these fears so I can start walking through them.
Yeah. And is that something you're avoiding? Is it something that we're avoiding? It's the last thing you try.
Yeah.
First thing in work, last thing you try. And I just wanna touch on that too, because Debbie says, how do you handle not being a religious person and find
That's
that
a
higher
good
power?
one for you, Justin.
Yeah. So I think I think it's hard coming into these programs, man. You see, as soon as you see that God word, you're like, oh, done. It's done here. I'm done. I already have I have understanding. I know exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to rope me up. And you have all these beliefs from before and all these other things that are like you're lining up. This is not a religious thing. This is whatever works for the individual. It's a personalized relationship with something other than you. We all have that spirit in us. We just got to tap into it. And we're all clouded by drugs and alcohol, so we can never really fully understand. And we have this notion, this understanding that it's supposed to be this one exact thing, when it doesn't even have to be like that. We can understand it whichever way we want. And I think that's the best thing that I've ever grasped. And it took me a long time to even figure it out. And I struggled for a long time, is understanding that I don't, it's not something I can think of. I can't put logic on it. I can't fathom it. It's not something I can see, something I can touch, not something I just can't, and I overthought the whole process of the whole thing. And I know that a lot of people in here started hitting it. My sister said, find what works for you. I'm not religious at all, but I find my HP in the universe and energy in nature. We have Lindsay says, it's more spiritual than religious for me. When I first came in, I used nature. I knew those forces were bigger than me. Something makes the sun and the moon appear each day, bigger than me. Or I had to put my faith and trust in others doing the deal and relied on them. Anything other than myself, will, or self-sufficiency. And that's exactly what I did too, is I held on to people. I believe because Nate believed. I believe because Matt believed, or Ito, or anybody, the rooms. I can feel something working inside of me, but I couldn't fathom what it was, because I overthought everything. I'm like, oh, well, I need to have a burning bush, or I need to have this something magical, the fireworks coming out. And like, it doesn't even have to be that way. It could just be whatever it is. Just don't overthink it,
Yeah. Explaining spirituality to somebody that hasn't had a spiritual experience is like trying to tell somebody what being on acid is like, that's never done acid. That's not original. I heard this before, but it's true. It's so true. I used to love acids. I know this ain't the right arena for that, but well, yeah, I guess it is. You guys get it. And what's cool though, Justin?
We get it, bro.
Yeah. What's cool? Religious or not, you believe in the universe or not, Allah, Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, Catholicism, it's all the same power. That's the spiritual leap. That it's like, I feel like this source is a giant well, and there's about, if you have a well in the middle of wherever it is, you can tap into that bitch like 2,000 different ways, right? That's all this is, man. It's just a matter of understanding at a soul level that I am not that power, and that there is something else that is. That's how I made my beginning. I used to scoff, bro. It says in our literature, some scoff, some hope you remain to pray. That hits hard for me, because I used to make fun of religious people, bro. And now I sit here and watch church with Danielle on Sunday with a complete open mind, hearing the very same things I read in my books and hear in the meetings.
I was the same way. Couldn't go to church with Tiffany. I couldn't go to church with Tiffany. Not one bit. I couldn't. I couldn't. There was a reaction inside of me that wouldn't allow me to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And this, cool. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, and on that topic of avoidance, it's funny because people told me this 20 years ago when I first came around recovery, and people would tell me like, it's these spiritual principles, right? That, and that's what, that's what will get you closer to this power that they're talking about. And, and I avoided that for 18 years, right? I would come around and I would just keep coming back to meetings and do this and do that, and I avoid it. And so it's, on that topic, it's not a religious thing, right? These are spiritual principles that have been around for thousands of years, right? And if you just like you just said, Nate, as long as I'm at that level where, like, I understand there's something bigger out there and it's not me. If I just begin to practice some of these spiritual principles that, have been around for thousands of years, all different, religions and different avenues of spirituality, like this stuff's nothing new, right? And if I just begin to practice this stuff, it was my experience that when I began to practice this stuff in the steps that, it brought me to the feet, of the power that I call God today. But that was just my experience. And that's what it says in the book. It says, just as we draw near, he'll disclose himself to us. And I've seen it in many people. And, so there's nothing religious about it. And it's just really beginning to just practice spiritual principles and it'll just, and at the beginning, that's really all I could do, was just take suggestions and I really didn't know what I was working towards, but I didn't understand it all. We were just talking about this today, that, I don't have to understand this stuff, but if I just begin to do it, I just land at the feet of whatever this power is. And mine has metastasized into, the God that I have today. But yeah, man, there was nothing religious about it in the beginning for me, because I was raised in one religion that I ran from for a lot of years. And I'm glad I didn't have to find that same power when I got here. But go ahead, Nate.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't know what else can be said about that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's simple as that, man. And yeah. So Debbie, I hope that helps you. And I know her son is struggling, but first we got to get, please pray for her son, Brandon Wall. First we got to get, the drugs and alcohol away from us. We got to get a clear mind and be able to get honest and open and being willing to do something different, and that's how we found it. And that's how we keep going. So, man, it's been a great topic, man. Great topic. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and thank you, Matt, again for coming on last minute. We do appreciate you coming on in a clutch.
Thank you, guys.
That's a great example of how this deal works, though, man. How people show up. Like, that's the type of friendships, that's the type of connections, that is available to anybody who thinks they're alone or struggling. And that's the same vehicle that got me to this power, by the way, is guys like on this screen in the fellowship.
Yeah.
That's the vehicle that'll get you to where you need to be. So find your tribe, get around the right people. You'll find this deal. I promise.
Yep. Well, thank you all for coming on tonight, and thank you for hearing us. And I hope you guys got something out of this. I think that we all can take something going into this week and figuring out what is the deep dive we need to do. Where are we going to dig? Where are we going to dig into and find out what are these avoidances in areas that we can grow a little bit more each week, each day. Is it something that you're having some pain in your life, feeling you feel the effects when some things are happening, right? And this one area, you've been avoiding for a while. Maybe it's the work you need to do. Maybe it's a person you need to talk to. Maybe it's a relationship you need to amend. Maybe it's just some inner working that you need to do on yourself, or who knows, figure it out, and then maybe come next week, man, let's chat about it. Let's talk. I know there's a few areas in my life where I need to dig a little deeper and get a little into the work. And I think that even in big ways, small ways, whatever ways, so we guys, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you here next Sunday right here live on the Hope Shot. Till then, see y'all, man. Balloons. I see I need two fingers to do it, but I'm trying to click stuff and it's just not working for me. Sorry, Matt. See ya.